Afternoon. Well, today didn't go to plan. I'd actually planned to have a really enjoyable day today, shooting my crossbow and trying out a new backstop stroke target that I've devised. I've had this thing for quite a while now, and it's enormous fun. It is so much fun to fire that crossbow. It is just unbelievably powerful. It's because it's so powerful that it actually makes it quite difficult to play with, because it's dangerous, very. B, you end up, these bolts literally end up being single use items unless you've got the right backstop for them. You fire them into wood or anything like that, they either penetrate all the way through and tear the fletchings off, or they will stop, but they'll literally buckle in half with the impact. So they do become virtually single-use items. I've always used these field tips up until now. I've got some of these nice razor blade headed broadheads, which I've not even been able to fire yet, because I know full well if I fire that at a bit of wood, not only is it just going to shatter into a million pieces, those little pieces could end up anywhere. So I'm going to be very careful about what I actually fire these broadheads into, which is why I've spent a lot of time thinking about it. I've come up with what I think might be a decent way of doing a homemade cheapo backstop. I'm still going to do it, just not today, because today didn't go to plan. What I'm going to do, one of these 35-litre buckets, into which I'm going to stuff as much as I possibly can of this scaffold netting. Having an allotment, I've got a lot of this old scaffold netting. It's all full of holes and it's no good really for protecting plants. This stuff anyway, full of holes. But actually this stuff, once you bundle it up and compress it and push it all together, that, I think, might just be sufficient to catch me bolts without destroying them, and without them just going straight through the whole thing. I might actually cut a disc of ply to sit right at the very back of it. Obviously it will sit on its side like that. I'll probably put a breeze block or something in the bottom to stop it rolling around, wedge in as tightly as I can as much of this netting as I can, and then actually I was advised to use Hessian sacking as a face for it, but to be honest, I might as well just use this. It's very similar to Hessian sacking. It's just that instead of being made out of jute, it's made out of plastic. I've got a suspicion this will do the job. So I had a very quick errand to run this morning. I planned all this crossbow fun and games. I had a very quick errand to run this morning, supposedly. I had to take my work van over to Luton for a service. Now my work van has been sitting furloughed like me for the last 3.5 months. I went and tried to start the van this morning. Nothing. Battery's dead. So I phoned the AA. You're not allowed. I mean, I could have jumped it off my own car, but you're not allowed to. You have to get the AA to do it. So called out the AA. They came and got it started. I drove it over to Luton. Now, doing anything in Luton isn't good. Luton is a nasty place. I stay the hell away from it. Really, I wish that a big airship could just come with a big grabber, lift up Luton, fly it away and drop it in East London where it belongs. But anyway, I had to go to this nasty place called Luton. They kept me waiting for 2 hours. I'd already spoken to them on the phone. They said, "Oh yeah, it's all right. It's only all we need to do. We just need to change your brake fluid. That's all. It will take half an hour. We'll do it while you wait." That's what they said on the phone. I got there and I said, "Well, okay, how long am I waiting?" The bloke said, "Oh, could be an hour or two." I said, "Well, you said half an hour on the phone." He said, "Oh, well, yeah, well, we need to check everything over, so all right, fair enough." I had to go and sit in this horrible, disgusting Luton Park full of needles and dog faeces for about 2 hours, waiting for them to call me to come and pick up my van. They didn't call me. After 2 hours, I was sat in this park, just bored to death, hoping I wasn't going to get killed. In the end, I just walked back to the place and I said, well, you know, have you finished? Is the van ready? I've not heard from you. They said, oh, you need a new tyre and you need a new battery. I suspected it might need a new battery because the AA had to come and start it. But he said, you need a new battery. And they said, we're only allowed to get them directly from Ford. This van, it's a transit. It's horrible van. Really cheap, nasty, badly put together pile of junk. I'm due to get a VW, which I'm really looking forward to. But this old Ford, it's not even old. It's 2 years old, but it's knackered. It's absolutely horrible van. They ended up saying to me, "Oh well, we can't get the battery. We've got to get it from Ford. It's going to be a few days." Now, at this point, it had started chucking it down with rain. I'm standing there in my Jesus sandals, no hat, no coat, and I was looking at an 8-mile walk to get back home. I could have got a bus, I could have got a taxi, but I need things to change quite a lot before I go anywhere near public transport. You won't get me on a bus for a long time. Wasn't going to get a bus, wasn't going to get a taxi, and I thought, well, actually, I don't have to walk down the main road back to my hometown. I thought there is a nice cross-country route I can take. So I took this cross-country route across the Chalk Downs, and actually it was a really nice walk. It was long. It took me about an hour and a half. It was 8 miles. But it was a nice, pleasant walk. It wasn't like oh no, here I am, I'm stuck, I've got to get myself home with no transport. I just treated it as a nice little walk, and I quite enjoyed it. Even though it was pouring down with rain, crashing thunder. So anyway, I got back home eventually. Got in my own car, come up the allotment, ready to have a bit of a shoot, build this target. And the rain just got heavier and heavier and heavier. So the day hasn't gone to plan. It was going to be a bit of crossbow fun and games. I think it's going to have to wait till tomorrow now. But yeah, I really hope this method. I saw a YouTube channel. I can't remember exactly what it was called. He had Robin Hood. It's all about archery and crossbows. And he had Robin Hood in the title. He's an English bloke living in Germany. He did something very similar to this with his longbow. It was a 60-pound longbow. 60-pound draw weight longbow. My crossbow is 175 pounds draw weight. You couldn't possibly pull it by hand. But he did say that he has a 150-pound crossbow, which he was firing into something similar to this quite effectively. Now, what he was actually using was that plastic... it's kind of like industrial cling film. You see it wrapped around pallets full of goods. He stuffed a similar bucket full of plastic packaging. And I thought, actually, well, no, this scaffold netting, with its stretchiness and all of its little holes, I think is actually going to do a better job than the plastic wrapping that he used. Hopefully it will be adequate for a 175-pound crossbow. Because I've had this thing for so long, I'm dying to use it more often. It's just such an extreme toy. It's you know, you need to have the right setup to be able to use it safely, and to be able to use it without doing that sort of thing to all your bows. Sorry, to all your bolts. Even these knackered ones, you can unscrew the tips and reuse them. These are 16 or 17 inch bolts. There's no reason I can't cut the bent end off and reinsert a new tip. So they are reusable, but you know, I don't want to destroy them all. So fingers crossed tomorrow we'll have that target stroke backstop built, and I'll be able to fire off some arrows. Hopefully even my never used broadheads, and I shall report back and let you know how it went. Hope you dodged the rain this afternoon. There's a lot of it about. The thunder was spectacular. I enjoyed that. I'm hoping we get a bit more. But anyway, this is all knocked on the head for today. We'll give it a go again tomorrow. Take care. See you later.